Anywho, all right, guys. So this apple has a condition that I thought was worms, but it only goes past the skin, then it stops. And I thought, what apple or what worm does that? Because they usually go in from the stem or from the bottom, and they just tunnel right in there. And some actually only go after the seeds, I found out, which is really weird, considering this thing is full of arsenic, the seed?
Cyanide.
Cyanide.
They actually do that because seeds typically have to have all the nutrients in them for the plant to get to the point where they can start growing.
It's the seed.
So it's the most nutrient dense area. So especially with apples, like there's a diet called the min-maxing. You eat as little food as you can, but you get the most out of it. You get the most nutrients out of it. So you peel an apple rather than eating an apple, because if you peel it, almost all of the nutrients are in the skin.
On the skin, exactly.
Same thing with the seeds. If we could eat the seeds, you get most nutrients from the seeds.
Right.
So that's why seeds are really nutrients.
But we don't want to. I guess this worm is immune to strychnine, cyanide. But we want to eat the skin off our homegrown apples because the skin has so much nutrients in it, and you don't want to peel it. So I'm going to peel these minimally. This is actually a calcium deficiency I found. I'm going to sprinkle a ton of my wood ash from my wood burning stove. I've got so much of it saved up, so I'm thrilled to hear that. I've got to figure out how to treat this apple tree and get it back to life, and that's one of my little plans. So there we go. There's that. Let's talk about more stuff. Well, thank goodness America had onions. That's all I can say.
Nope. Poor onion farmer from Europe is a real thing. Has been for a long time. Much before the Colombian Exchange.
Pause for effect. You're kidding. Even the onion. How about the shallot?
Same thing.
I mean, I would have guessed that shallot. That sounds so French. It's probably from France. I'll have to edit that.
But it's true.
Okay. So, you would have thought we had something over here like that. So, I mean, what were we eating in America pre-Colombian Exchange? Well, okay, hold on. Peppers. That's what it was. Look at this pepper, by the way, guys. South American. I should have known. Peppers would not have been here had they not traveled from South America. Potatoes, South America. I'm getting the idea. Peppers, South America. By the way, this is an ancho pepper. Actually, it's poblano. The ancho is the dried version of this. Isn't that a beauty, guys? Really thrilled about that. Overwintered that pepper plant. That's another story. South America. South America. Europe. Surely.
Europe.
Now I'm gonna.
Your jack-o'-lantern didn't exist until the Colombian Exchange.
But
they
the
used
pumpkin
to use turnips.
In Europe.
In Europe, they used to use turnips for jack-o'-lanterns instead. You would let them grow. There would be people that grew them really, really big and woody, because if you leave it, they just get huge and dense.
That is so old world. I love that.
Yeah.
And so a turnip the size of this, but what it was, we don't know its shape. It may not have even been orange.
Most of these things, outside of maybe corn and carrots, that carrot is small. No offense, but it is small compared to what the ones in the supermarkets get. So we bred them, and they've gotten bigger and bigger and bigger. Corn.
So corn we had
another
over
one.
here.
Corn was over here.
It was probably different looking than this.
Yeah.
Corn with these nice.
I definitely would not look like that. It would be multiple different colors.
Right. That's nice corn. I think I'm going to eat some of that tonight. So basically, we've got corn and pumpkins over here. And I'm going to turn it over to Jarrett because he's got a list here and he's going to cover some of this with us. And that's fascinating to just see, just through this opener alone, how much of this stuff we didn't have.
Which continents would you like me to cover first?
Let's go with the Americas.
Okay.
Let's see what we brought to the table.
The Americas had corn, potatoes, sweet potatoes, cassava, which is a root much like potatoes and sweet potatoes, pumpkins, squash, tomatoes, pineapple, avocados, kidney beans, navy beans, lima beans, peanuts, cacao, vanilla, peppers, sunflowers, tobacco, blueberries, papaya, cranberries, strawberries, and cotton. And the only animal that we had that everywhere else didn't have was turkeys. That was the only thing that we contributed, like agriculturally wise.
So we exclusively had turkey. And I heard once that we had turkeys that were the wild version. We sent them over, and that's where the modern turkey we know started to
same thing with pigs, horse,
over in Europe. They sort of domesticated and fattened them up and bred them.
Cows, pigs, and sheep were first domesticated in the Middle East, which is where life kind of like blossomed at first.
Yeah. Yeah, that's an ancient part of the world. Well, anyway, we don't get too much into animals because this is a vegetable and fruit channel, but still, this all ties in. I'm going to go ahead and
cover the animals that Europe, Africa, and Asia. So basically, the whole rest of the world outside of the Americas.
Go for it.
They had pigs, horses, cattle, cows, sheep, chickens, rats, and honeybees. We did not have honeybees over here until the Colombian Exchange.
Right. Tons of native bees, little guys that were pretty nondescript.
They produced honey, but they weren't honeybees in particular. Right. Honeybees produce way more honey than what they would ever have.
Oh, I mean, obviously blueberries. We think of the ancient patches, fields of blueberries in these rocky, poor soils of the New England states. Blackberries. So these things were here for hundreds, maybe thousands of years. It's not that they're
nutrient insufficient. It's the acidic soil. That's the main thing.
That's why
blueberries love it. That's why blueberries can love so much.
So they were here, but I mean, papaya though. I mean,
South America.
I
tend to just go with pumpkins, North America, squash, South America, to be safe.
Talk amongst yourself. Keep this rolling. I got something I got to show you guys. I can't believe I forgot this vegetable.
For Europe, Africa, and Asia, they had like nothing. They had nothing. Europe mainly had like nothing. Europe had, from this list that I have, Europe had grains, olives, apples, carrots, grapes, onions.
But here, check this. I can't believe I forgot this. By the way, beautiful jalapeno. Not from America, South America, along with all the other peppers. By the way, I think I told you guys I grew all this in the garden. It's a better year than last year. Tomatoes. I know for a fact tomatoes are not from here. From what I understand, South America, in particular, like the highlands of Peru or something crazy like that.
Also, the big thing is we would not want to eat anything that was not domesticated. Wild onions are a very rare situation because most of those are domesticated onions that became wild.
I've heard that wild tomatoes...
They would be disgusting.
Disgusting. And
acidic, bitter, gross. So the whole purpose of the fruit is to be eaten and pooped out by animals. So the seeds can spread. That's all it is. It's not supposed to taste good. We like it to taste good, so we breed it to taste good.
Right, much like wild lettuce. I mean, I've got wild lettuce growing in my backyard. Some of it's 6 and 8 feet tall. You can actually eat it. It's an actual aspirin substitute, but it tastes terrible. But I nibble little tops of it through the summer. I think I'm kind of getting addicted to it. I need to go to a support group. Okay, so basically, we're covering this bless you.
Thank you.
Probably all this vast produce that I grew in the garden, making him allergic. The cleanness of it. So basically, this Colombian Exchange, the Colombian comes from Maine. The landing
it was the main port for everything to come over. Like at this point, stuff could come down from groups coming out, but it wasn't
point of entry
directly. Yeah.
Hi, Katie. Okay, so this exchange, which is the thing we want to focus on.
I'll go over the list of everything that came from the old world, came to the new world.
Okay.
So, grains, bean, wheat, oats, barley, basically any grasses, domesticated grasses, grains, bananas, olives, sugarcane, citrus fruits, oranges, limes, lemons, grapefruits, all that stuff came.
Fruit trees in general.
Yeah. Peaches, pears, coffee beans came from Africa and Asia. Apples, carrots, grapes, any brassicas, like cabbage, like kale, that kind of
Okay.
stuff.
Right.
We got lettuce, spinach, cabbage, onions, soybeans, dandelions actually came
Crazy.
from over there.
You'd
All
think
the
at least
dandelions,
the
invasive.
American, not even Dandelion's not even from North America.
Crabgrass is from, of course,
Nice.
it's from Europe.
Of course.
Yeah, it would be from Europe. Thistles, wild oats, ginger, taro, which is a root as well.
Yeah.
Coconuts, cherries, garlic, melons, eggplants, and plums. Now, I will say this, and it's probably not controversial because I'm sure anyone with a brain would agree with this. Maybe not French people. But I think outside of the grains, coffee beans, and fruit trees, it was 100% an American dub on this one. They had so many different things that are staples. Like, there's a reason why Europe wanted to go elsewhere, because their food sucked. Because they were eating, like, bread and, like...
Very basic stuff.
Yeah, like
Were
stuff that we wouldn't want to eat today.
And they were probably foraging. Well, the people who, I suppose, the poorer class people. I once heard that the wealthy made themselves sick by focusing on eating the meat that was at their disposal. But it was so bereft of needed vitamins. The poor folks were actually healthier in some ways.
Mm-hmm.
They were foraging. They were growing little gardens and stuff.
Well, potatoes are the second most nutrient. Like, it covers, like, not nutrient. It is the second most sufficient nutritional wise of any vegetable.
Mm-hmm.
Second. You know what the first one is?
Vegetable.
Sweet potatoes.
Sweet potato. Okay, sweet potato.
Number one.
And not in the same family.
The only thing that is better at
Obviously.
has vitamin A and more calcium.
Yeah.
So you could literally just live off of that.
Sweet potato.
Just sweet potatoes. You shouldn't, but you can.
Right.
Theoretically.
Okay.
You can off potatoes too, but you need calcium and more vitamin A. But you shouldn't. You should have a well-balanced, rounded diet with all of your vitamins, all of your nutrition.
Thank you, Doc.
You know, fresh fruits, meat, vegetables, all that stuff. Make sure you get all your good stuff.